Welcome to Talkin' Tullahoma. In the studio with me today is Richard Brooks from Templar Shooting Sports. How are you today, Richard?
I'm good, Jamie. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. So in the wake of recent church shootings, and there's been three up to this point, have you noticed a change, an increase in permits or anything?
We have. A lot of the training has picked up due to the recent events, and I think with national media and the instant and broad coverage of what's going on in the country, people are starting to realize that law enforcement is really busy, and that hasn't changed, but they need to take their own responsibility for their safety is what they're realizing, I believe.
Absolutely. So in addition to just the permit classes, you have some other classes as well.
Correct.
You were telling me about what's a basic pistol class?
That's for anybody who has never even picked up a firearm before in their lives. We have a small class that we spend a little bit of time in the classroom going over basic marksmanship fundamentals, firearm safety, the different types of pistols, and then we go out and we shoot a little bit on the range, and so they can actually get out there and pull the trigger for the first time.
Really sort of get comfortable. That's the get
Correct.
comfortable with your gun. Now, another gentleman was talking to us earlier about how he had given his wife and daughter guns as Christmas presents, and I think he said his daughter took to it, but his wife not so much.
Right.
So in a case like that, where you've got someone who may be a little bit more intimidated and doesn't want to go and be in a group of people, I mean, what would you recommend for that?
They can come on in. We always have an instructor available, and it's really not any different in cost as far as getting one-on-one time with an instructor on the range. And you can have the instructor for an hour or however long you want them, and they will pay solely 100% attention to you.
Okay, because a lot of people, they want the gun safety, but at the same time they're intimidated by the equipment. They're afraid of an accidental shooting or hurting themselves or hurting someone else. So it's good to have somebody that can give them that one-on-one quality time. Now you have advanced classes. I guess that's for someone who's not afraid to shoot. So
correct. And with the advanced classes, there is a prerequisite for that, and you have to have a handgun permit or have trained in our handgun permit course at Templar and with our staff. And so if you already have a permit but it's been a while, I do recommend come on in. We'll knock the rust off and get you up to speed to where that first of the series is concerned, the Defensive Pistol 1 class. And what we really do there is we take the test part of it and out of it, and then we'll put the real world portion into it and kind of statistically go over what being involved in a shooting is going to be like. And a lot of people, you're not really going to have a sustained firefight or anything like that. It's going to happen very, very quickly and unexpectedly, even if it's in your own home. And so we want to make sure that people are comfortable and confident with their firearm and with any equipment that they have, any gear as far as holsters and carry purses, and how you're going to live day to day as a handgun permit holder and carrying in public.
I like the way you said that, off the test versus real world, because a test, I know, like even the driving test, doesn't really prepare you for real world. I mean, it tells you how to obey all the rules, but it doesn't necessarily teach you how to drive, offensively and defensively, where you have to watch the other cars.
And that's really, the states, the handgun permit course itself is prescribed by the state, and so we have to apply, and they have to inspect the school and make sure all of our instructors are certified to teach that particular course. And so that's really just the beginning, and it's actually not a class to come and learn how to shoot. You're expected to know a little bit of something, and maybe it had a little bit of range time or some minimal experience before you take that class. And what it does, it gives you the basics, laws, understanding use of force, encounters with law enforcement when you're armed, things like that, and the updated state laws as far as the Castle Doctrine and carrying in your vehicle. All of those things are gone over, and then we go over marksmanship and safety and go out to the range and we shoot the test. Well, everybody's very anxious about that because you're required to pass a 50-question written test, and then you're required to pass a 50-round shooting portion of the class. And if you don't pass that, you don't get your permit. I mean, obviously, our instructors, we do everything we can to set you up for success when you come in for that class. However, every now and again we get somebody that's just overly anxious about it, and that fear hasn't quite been taken out, and so that's where that one-on-one training can come. And then for the advanced courses, you know, the permit course is something that really is only looking to see if you're safe and you know, pretty confident with your gun. Or not, confident's not really the right word, but we want comfortable, yeah. You know, if you're safe enough to carry in public, and if you have that basic knowledge. And so, you know, Tennessee is a shall issue state, and so if you pass the requisites that the state requires from the school and from, you know, the individuals looking to get their permits, then you're going to get your permit. But we want to make sure that you're safe in the meantime as well, and so that's what our job is.
Well, and you know, I like the fact that you've got all these different levels, and you know, even for people that have received their permit that might need a refresher, because I mean, it's like anything. I mean, you know, you get licensed, again, I'll use the car example, to drive a car, but if you don't drive a car every day, you know, you get rusty. I mean, even if you do drive a car every day, go take a driving test and see how well you do now, because you know, we
creating bad habits.
We create bad habits, and you know, you get comfortable with things that maybe aren't the right way. You know, you need to get comfortable with the right way, not the wrong way. So you said that you had an increase, and what's the demographic that you're seeing come in?
We're getting a lot of inquiries from churches for groups, and we're starting to schedule, you know, private church groups that are coming in together to get the permit training. And I've been talking to other churches about actually going on site and doing a security survey of the property and the buildings and things like that, and then doing a small training session with their church members. And so a lot of churches are to the point now where they're starting to have security teams, things like that, or security ministries, and you know, just people who are willing to, you know, that are permit holders that have had some sort of basic foundation and training, that are willing to carry while in church, and not only as a deterrent, but as somebody who can intervene and maybe neutralize a threat.
Now, you give me a kind of an overview. I saw something on TV the other night. I guess it was someone like yourself that was offering this class in Nashville, where they went into a church and they were just teaching preparedness. I guess, you know, and it sort of, to me, was reminiscent of when we were kids in school and we learned about tornado drills you know, and that, you know, severe weather. So how could you just give us like a basic outline of how do you teach people in a church setting, we'll say a church, to be prepared? What are some of the things that you show them? Well,
what we want to do is obviously prevent things first. And so we would go and look at the actual physical layout of the property, and from things such as lighting, shrubbery, things like that. What's blocking or adding to the environment that somebody could conceal themselves with. And then, you know, what are the lanes of ingress and egress and things like that, and we want to control that. So obviously we want to make sure some certain doors are locked, and you know, that they have panic bars on them, so they're according to code, you know, so that if something were to happen, they could leave the building. But we also want to control how people are coming in. And so if you have one point of entry, or maybe two points of entry into the same room, we want to make sure that somebody is there immediately to greet people and things like that. And obviously, you know, a lot of churches don't want to turn people away, you know, and so you want to maintain an open and friendly environment, and you can learn a lot about somebody just by simply talking to them for 15 seconds, you know. And so what we would do is, when we would go into a church setting, we would look at their building, look at their doors, how many doors they have into the main portions of the church, and where somebody could access the concentration of people, and we want to stop that, and we want to bring them into a primary entrance so that they're greeted and they're talked to, and if something were to go wrong, there'd be somebody there that could respond to something.
And that's not a bad safety measure. We're going to go to commercial here, and when we get back, we'll talk a little bit more about this, because people need to know it's no different than a tornado. We just have to prepare ourselves to be safe now. So it's not live in fear, but live in comfort that you are able to take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back right after this.
The same people that restore your power in the middle of a storm. The same people that leave their families to ensure your water services are working properly are the same people who bring you the best broadband services with HD television, high-speed internet, and feature-rich phone. LightTube, your friends and neighbors working for you.
I have tremendously enjoyed having LightTube service my internet and phone needs for a busy medical practice. When we switched over from AT&T, I had suspected it would be a difficult transition. However, LightTube pleasantly surprised me. They were really knowledgeable. They serviced my needs. It was all seamless. They are hometown professionals who deliver on their promise. I've been very pleased with their service.
Catch the 2017 Tullahoma High School football games on LightTube Channel 23. Don't miss a touchdown or a tackle. LightTube's got you covered. Just tune in to LightTube Channel 23 to enjoy all of this season's THS Wildcat football games. LightTube, local people, local service.
My name is Eric Burton. I'm a third-generation electrical worker. To be a lineman, you have to be hard-working, you have to be dedicated, and you have to be dependable. There are times that we work around the clock in many different conditions. In this line of work, you have to always consider safety. Our motto here is to go home to your family just the way that you arrived at work. It's very rewarding to provide power to the Tullahoma community.
Welcome back to Talking Tullahoma. With me today, Richard Brooks of Templar Shooting Sports, and we were talking about gun permits and safety in churches. I think is it just churches that have been inquiring, or is it other places as well?
It's also businesses.
Really?
A lot of businesses, even if they have a staff of 5 or more, are starting to realize maybe we need to do some sort of training and have somebody come in and talk simply about what we could do in the event of an emergency if somebody were to come in. Even if somebody mentally unstable or mentally ill, there's a lot of things that people can do that aren't necessarily dangerous, but can be quite unnerving.
Absolutely. And stricter gun law is not necessarily the case, because as we've seen recently, a lot of the mentally unstable people that have got their hands on a gun have done it illegally. So, and there's always going to be criminals and always a way to circumvent the law. But speaking of it, we want to obey the law. So as you said earlier, we were talking about the gun in the car. You were telling me that I could carry my gun in my car without a permit legally.
Correct. That law has changed in 2017, where the state of Tennessee recognizes your car as an extension of your home, and so now it's covered under the Castle Doctrine, where if you're 21 years of age or older, you can legally purchase and possess a firearm. You can have a loaded pistol in your car legally without having a permit. Now, you can't strap it into a holster and put it on your hip and get out of the vehicle. That's not legal. However, you can have it inside your car in case you need it, in an emergency.
Yeah, if I have to go back into my car and get it, exactly.
Right.
Okay, so say I were to do that, I were to arm myself with my gun, leave it in my car for safety. But then I'm taking a vacation. I'm going to take a road trip. I'm going to drive out west. I'll be going through several different states and jurisdictions that have differing gun laws. How can I know what my where, if I'm going to be illegal going from state to state, is there somewhere I can go find that information?
Online at the Tennessee.gov website, they do talk about the permit reciprocity. Now, if you are a handgun permit holder, we do have reciprocity with 38 other states regarding our permits, and whether that's a formal agreement or by state law. Now, Tennessee recognizes any other permit issued by a state, just like a driver's license. And so every state's permit is valid in the state of Tennessee as a visitor or somebody traveling through, but it's up to you to obey those states' laws. And so you can get on the Tennessee.gov website, and they lay out all the states we have reciprocity with, states that don't honor the Tennessee permit, and what those states' laws are regarding how you carry and whether it's legal to carry in your vehicle. Now, the carrying in the vehicle, the state law, that refers to intrastate only. That's only within the state of Tennessee.
Okay.
So once you cross the border into another state, now it's under that state's jurisdiction and what their law states.
Okay. Okay, so, well, if I can carry it in my car in my own state, what are some of the pros of actually going to get the handgun carry permit?
Well, having the handgun carry permit, you can have the gun on you at any time, wherever you're at, as long as it's not prohibited by a private entity or business or school property and all of those things, which are things that you learn where you can and can't carry in the course itself. But having the gun on you, and what a lot of people don't really understand or maybe even think about or realize, is that as granted by the Constitution of the United States, the Second Amendment allows us to keep and bear arms by a right. So if you can legally own and purchase a firearm, you can do that. Now, in state sovereignty, the state's legislation can, maintain the right to regulate the wearing of arms and the carrying of arms. And the state of Tennessee requires that they want you to have that one-day basic course, just so that you have some sort of training and some safety knowledge and marksmanship and things like that, and regarding the laws. And so, as a right for a U.S. citizen to have it in your car, which driving a car is a privilege granted by the states. It's not a right granted by the Constitution.
I see. So here's this Second Amendment right that is granted to us that most people don't even, take advantage of.
Right.
But it's unfortunately, the times are calling for us probably to be more and more, conscious of that and to arm ourselves. But the one-day class, to me, does not seem like that intrusive, and it also seems like just, basic. You want to know. I mean, you wouldn't want to get in a car without knowing how to drive it. You would want to handle something that could potentially kill someone or yourself without knowing a little bit about it. And that's not, a fear of gun. And you should have a healthy fear of it, just like you should have a healthy fear when you get behind the wheel of a car, which I don't think a lot of people do. But okay.
I would say not so much a fear, respect.
A respect for it. That's a better word. So let's talk about equipment. Now, I have a gun, but I don't know that this is one that I would want to carry in my car. In fact, I've been thinking about getting another gun. So I assume that you have guns.
Of course we have guns.
Lots of equipment and ammunition there.
Right.
So tell me a little bit about how you help someone like myself if I come in and I want to buy a gun, and let's pretend like I don't even own one. How do you help a novice gun owner like myself figure out what's best for them?
Well, first we start kind of discussing if there are some physical limitations, size, strength, those sorts of things, looking for your goal and what you hope to accomplish. Is it something that you want to just keep in the house in the car, or is it something you're going to carry on you at all times? A lot of people think the smaller the frame of the gun, the less recoil it's going to have, or the less kick. That's not so much the case. And some, that is correct, and some smaller framed guns are designed for the best recoil management and things like that, and in the caliber that it is. So obviously, with several different types of, you got several manufacturers, several different types of ammunition, several different calibers. We want to try and narrow that down to between 1 and 2, figure out if you want a semi-automatic or a revolver and those types of things. And then of course we have the rentals. And so once we kind of narrow that down, we can take you out on the range, and actually you can shoot the gun before you purchase it.
Okay.
And so, you know, for a lot of ladies, we do have the certain styles of guns that are popular for women, and so a lot of the ladies that come in, we kind of narrow it down. Can you operate the slide? How does it feel in your hand? Is it comfortable to hold? And if it's not comfortable to hold, it's certainly not going to be comfortable to shoot. And so, you know, we want to narrow those things down and then actually get you out on the range to shoot it. And once you've tried it, before you buy it, then you know what you're getting yourself into. And I've always, a lot of men come in and they want to buy their wives a gun, and you're welcome, guys. I'm giving you some free advice here. Is
get a gift certificate.
Here's the best marriage advice that I could ever give any man, and it comes in two parts. First one, don't ever try and teach your wife how to shoot a gun, because she feels as if you're expecting too much out of her. And that's what we're here for. She doesn't care what I think. Okay, she doesn't have to see me every day or go to bed with me every night. And number two is, don't ever purchase a handgun for her. Let her come in and figure that out and see what she likes. And so, you know, we've got the pretty colors, the blues and the pinks and the muddy girls and all of that, and even purple. And I got a really nice little gold little Bursa 380 with gold all over it. And so we got the fancier type of guns, but just because it looks cute doesn't mean it's really appropriate, and that's what we want to.
And I don't know that I want to pull out a purple gun. It might not. You know, pulling out a gun might slow somebody down. Pulling out a purple gun, it might not slow an intruder down.
Yeah, but just think about it. If they stop and think, oh my gosh, I'm about to be shot by a purple gun.
That's true.
How humiliating is that, right?
Well, we have to go to commercial. When we get back, I want to ask you about some other firearms as well as families, and not just women, because we've kind of concentrated on the women. So when we get back, we'll talk about that right after this.
LightTube and 93.9 The Duck have partnered to bring you THS Sports. And local favorite Scott Chastain is back this year for THS football. Catch your favorite THS athlete on 93.9 The Duck and LightTube Channel 23 this year. Go Wildcats!
I have tremendously enjoyed having LightTube service my internet and phone needs for a busy medical practice. When we switched over from AT&T, I had suspected it would be a difficult transition. However, LightTube pleasantly surprised me. They were really knowledgeable. They serviced my needs. It was all seamless. They are hometown professionals who deliver on their promise. I've been very pleased with their service.
Catch the 2017 Tullahoma High School football games on LightTube Channel 23. Don't miss a touchdown or a tackle. LightTube's got you covered. Just tune in to LightTube Channel 23 to enjoy all of this season's THS Wildcat football games. LightTube, local people, local service.
Do you need more? More golf, hunting, or camping? More basketball, soccer, and baseball? Do you need more football? Do you just need more sports? LightTube's digital sports tier has more sports. Offering 12 additional sports channels for only $3 additional a month? What are you waiting on? Call 455-4515 and get more today.
Welcome back to Talkin' Tullahoma. Richard, before we went to commercial, we were talking about the different kinds of guns that you sell. Now, if I were a woman and I thought I'd have a better chance with like a...
You are a woman.
Thank you for clarifying.
You're welcome.
That.
I was just stating the obvious.
I'm glad you clarified that. So if a woman like myself,
there you go.
How about that, has a gun, a shotgun, and I'd feel more secure with the shotgun because, you know, there's more going out, and I can hit a bigger target, hopefully with not as accurate aim. Would you teach someone that?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not just limited to handguns.
No, and any instruction that we offer is tailored for you. And so, of course, we have our set courses, the basic pistol and all those, and the advanced pistol courses. But when you come in and you want an instructor and you want one-on-one time, first thing that he's, you know, whether it's me or one of the other instructors, they're going to ask you, what are we working on? And
Okay.
they want to know what you want. How are they going to help you?
Okay, that's good to know. Now, you were telling me you do family classes too. We talked about the one-on-one and the female classes, but you also do a whole family can come in, right?
Correct. And in the beginning last year when we first opened, you know, I was trying to come up with some sort of a schedule that would be able to meet families. And as time went on, what I started noticing is that if we brought, you know, say three to five families into a class together, that's quite a lot. And I've also found that families require a lot of the one-on-one attention for, you know, the children and even for the parents. And we get a lot of new families coming in wanting to learn about the firearms and learn how to shoot and get involved with the sport. And so, you know, obviously our expertise at Templar is you know, self-protection, home defense, things like that. But we absolutely love having the families come in, and you can do that at your own convenience. Just simply give us a call, ask if an instructor is available, and we will set you up, and you can come in on your own time whenever it's convenient for the family and get that type of instruction.
Okay, so if somebody is well-versed and they just want to come and shoot, how many lanes do you have over there?
We've got 10 lanes, all 25 yards is the maximum distance. We do allow rifles and any small arms up to 50 caliber, and our backstop can handle that. All of the equipment in there is state-of-the-art. The ventilation system is state-of-the-art, and we've rapidly become very popular and known as, if not the nicest, one of the nicest ranges in the state.
Oh yeah, I've heard lots of nice things. Occasionally I hear shooting when I go out there too. So.
Yeah, sometimes we get some big guns out there that are rocking the house pretty good.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I was like, what kind of, I think my coworker was out there one day, we were in the parking lot going, wonder what that is. So, yeah, you've had some celebrities come through there as well, haven't you? That well, local celebrities, so to speak.
Well, some of our local celebrities, yeah, and it's a lot of fun. A lot of the musicians locally, you know, and of course we just had a big event where we had locally our Stagger Moon band come and play, which was a great success, and we really enjoyed having the guys there. But from time to time, we have somebody walk through that is well known, you know, and we've got agreements with the local police departments and the sheriff's offices and things like that. So, you know, to us, those guys are the celebrities. So.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that was a nice event that you did. That was for benefited Haven of Hope and
Blue Monarch.
And Blue Monarch, yeah. So yeah, that was and truthfully, battered women probably need to learn about gun protection the most.
And that's what's near and dear to our heart is not only, you know, helping the families and helping the ladies, you know, but we want to make sure that our community, armed or not, is the safest community that we can raise our children in, and that's really what's important. And part of that comes with that right to own a firearm.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about hours. When are you open?
We're open 7 days a week. So Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. On Sundays, we're open from 1 to 6.
Okay, and if someone wanted to call, get a little more information, maybe they just didn't want to show up, they wanted to talk to you beforehand. 931-222-4657. We're located at 1101 South Jackson Street, just a block south of Tullahoma Utilities. Exactly. There you go. Well, everything revolves around Tullahoma Utilities, doesn't it? So, yeah, it was great having you here today, and I've become so informed. I think I'm definitely going to want to sign up for one of your classes. And
I hope so.
I'll bring my firearms down there, all of them, and you can help me learn to be better equipped and more secure.
I'd be happy to. And also for the ladies, we do have our Well Armed Woman chapter, which they meet on the second Thursday of every month at 6 p.m.
Okay, I probably need to run a slide for that then on the news. We'll do that for you. So
we appreciate that.
Again, thank you for coming, and you know, feel free to stop in anytime you want to teach us how to be more secure here at TUA as well.
Thank you, dear.
And thank you for joining us today on Talking Tullahoma. That's all the time we have, and we'll be bringing you more exciting talk shows real soon.